The following is an Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, interactive. Covering the latest in wrestling and beyond, you're listening to the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders and Diamond K.
On April 23rd, 2013. What's up, everybody? I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope the work week is going off to a good start for you all. As always, we'd love to hear from you during the course of this episode, so feel free to jump on in our chat room that's open right now over on Blog Talk Radio. You can also feel free to call into the show if you want to kick back and listen. Hey, maybe you might not be in front of your favorite tablet device tonight. Hey, no problem. If you got your phone, kick on back, smile and dial 646-478-3525. Once again, that's 646-478-3525. You can also take the time out to interact with us right now on Twitter. Hit us up at Infinity1Prod. We also got a new show handle. It's over at the RCWR Show. That's two new handles you can check out on Twitter. And, of course, who knows, depending on if we maybe want to open up the phone lines, we may take a couple of you all's calls tonight and get some of you all's reactions. We'll see how it goes. As always, I'm not flying solo. It's damn good to be back. Of course, I am riding, as always, with my good buddy, my good co-host, my amigo, my compadre, the one and only Diamond K. And, man, it is great to be back with you all. I know it was looking kind of WTF last week as we had put the tweet out there saying to you guys that I was just down and out, and, yeah, it was all that and much worse. I would never wish it on my worst enemy. I was down with a nasty chest cold, and it was so bad I was actually bedridden for a entire weekend, and I mean it was bad. I mean I just had chills all over the body, the whole 9 yards. Luckily, my girl had kicked back and she had nursed me back to good health. I still have a nasty chest cold. Scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably I feel like an 8. I'm not 100% out the woods just yet, but I am getting better enough to be back with you guys tonight. And, yeah, so that was pretty much my weekend. Diamond, how was your weekend, man?
Pretty good. No complaints.
I'll tell you, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I mean, I was bedridden. I had to force myself to eat because I just had a loss of appetite. And, I mean, I was just sweating big time the whole weekend, just nasty. And I'm feeling good. Guys that had ordered, or rather guys that had won some cool prizes from our little WrestleMania post show that we had for you guys a couple of weeks ago, some stuff did get mailed out today. I'm proud to say to you guys, Roberto, shout out to our buddy. He had wanted a medium shirt. Turned out we didn't have any in stock, so we had to order some more. But he was cool about it. We told him we'd make up for it and hook him up with a really cool bonus item. He said, it's all good, man. When the shirt comes, I'm going to be representing you and Diamond to the fullest potential. So I said, okay, all right, we like that. Okay, good. But shout out to our longtime listeners, Christian, and shout out to Philip. You guys, your goodies are on the way. Hopefully later this weekend I'll be able to have another announcement on the rest of the items when they'll be shipped off to everybody else that had won some cool goodies. Diamond, before we go into tonight's show, man, I definitely want to take a pause, and I want to say what a difference, bro, a week makes. I mean, we came on Tuesday night last week, and we were talking about how Boston, they had that whole marathon thing going down, and Monday of last week, how two knuckleheads decided they wanted to ruin those festivities. What was it, 2 dead, about 125 injured, missing limbs for a lot of them, what have you. And we said last week it's just going to be a matter of time. They going to get them, whether or not it's going to be really quick. That remains to be seen. But the president, he knew something we didn't know. He sounded pretty damn confident in the speech that he gave last week, is saying we're going to get them. charge them to the fullest extent of the law. Sure enough, we got one of them. We took him out. And the other one, he couldn't do like his brother. You know, he was running like a coward. And long story short, cops put one in his throat, arrested him. He's still alive. He's not able to talk right now. And we got Congress going back and forth over this silly crap about why he's being charged just, I'm trying to think of the terms, but basically in a nutshell, they want him to be charged as a terrorist. But those aren't the charges that he's being hit with. They're just hitting him like a regular felon. Everybody's going to have their different opinion on that. Look, just be happy with the fact that we got the SOBs. That's the bottom line. America can sleep safe at night. And Diamond, were you amazed at the quick turnaround that police, federal government was able to work together and get these two guys?
Not really. I knew they were going to get him, and I knew they were going to put. The thing I'm surprised about is I'm surprised he's still living. Because I thought that they were going to get him out of there. Just shoot him up, which is what I was thinking was going to happen. For all we know, he could really be dead now, and they're just waiting to tell us. So.
Yeah. I mean, damn good week. If you'd have told me that pretty much within the same week we'd get those two bastards, and then we'd get the child molester from the, I believe he was from the Virginia area that has been eluding police and FBI for like about 5 years. He actually took the place of Osama bin Laden on the 10 most wanted list for the FBI after we got bin Laden.
That's for sure.
Yeah. We got that little predator dude. I'm like, okay, wow, what he was down somewhere. I want to say Nicaragua. He was somewhere way out and deep out. And the guy's profile, he's been showcased so many times on America's Most Wanted. It's not even funny. John Walsh has been making it a passion to try to get that guy. But lo and behold, we get him. Great week, man. Great week to be an American. We are just racking up all the SOBs, and I definitely want to put a special all-points bulletin out there for those of you in the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. Diamond, you probably had heard about this. If not, it's probably going to be definitely new to you. It's probably going to grab you by the ear, what I'm getting ready to say. And it's shocking when you hear the story, but those of you in the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, I want you to be all out on an all-points bulletin as the stepson of a D.C. police officer. Check this out. The stepson of this D.C. police officer had killed his stepfather. Now, he killed him after saying to him, basically in a nutshell, hey, Junior, why don't you go on ahead and why don't you mow the lawn? Stepson did not want to mow the lawn, and this is a grown man by the name of Antoine James, 27 years old. He was a District of Columbia firefighter. Rumor had it that he got fired from the job, but then they're kind of saying that he stepped down, not really sure what it is. Hopefully more information can come about. But he basically went inside the house, and he was arguing with his mother. And basically, he's been in a little bit of a funk since he had lost his firefighting job last August. And the stepfather, he has just been going verbally at war with this kid, trying to get him to do right, trying to have him be a responsible adult. All he basically has been doing is freeloading off of his stepdad. And I'm sure for those of you, you've probably made your rounds back to your mom or your dad, both whatever, over the years, and you know how it is. Parents, especially on the black side, family, they don't play that shit. They give you about maybe 2 months, maybe 90 days if you're lucky, but then after that, you surely should have found something to go claim as your own and all that good stuff. Because, even if you pay them, they ain't having that. You still got to go. And it looks like Antoine was starting to burn out his welcome, so to speak. Long story short, he gets in an argument with his mom, and basically tells her, well, I'm going to show you. He goes outside and shoots his stepfather, who is on top of a ladder screwing in a light bulb. You think maybe he starts to have second thoughts. No. After his stepfather falls off the ladder, he's on his back. Antoine walks over, literally empties out his gun on this poor man. Neighbor has all of this on his surveillance footage that he gave to the police, okay? So they don't know where this guy is right now. They haven't been able to recover the gun, but they believe he is armed and dangerous. If you guys know anything about this man, you're definitely encouraged to get in contact with the police. But my heart goes out to the family of the victim. Detective Joseph Noel, 46 years old, had been working for the police department for just over 20 years. A senseless, stupid way to lose a life. Diamond, I don't know if you had heard about that, man.
No, I was unaware of that. That's a sad situation. And like you said, a lot of times at some point in time, you may have to make way back to your parents' house or your grandparents' house or whoever, whoever raised you. And at some point in time, I think that happens probably to everybody. And so it sounds to me, I'm thinking maybe there were some mental issues here too. Obviously, there was some mental issues.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, just mowed along, I mean, I can remember many times when I would get to do the chores, or I'd throw a little hissy fit. I'd do a little, and I'd get a pop in the face, and that'd be it. I'd be mad. I'd be like, God damn it, but I do the damn thing, and I knew next time don't do no back talk, and that's it. But anytime it gets to the point where you're literally thinking about killing your relative, you need some help without a doubt, and then hopefully police, they can take this guy before he can do any more harm to anybody else, or for that matter, harm to himself, and they can get him the treatment that he desperately needs, because he definitely needs it right now. But be out on that All Points Bulletin. First saw that story broke out on NBC News 4 earlier this afternoon. And special shout out, I said it once, I'll say it again, as a special All Points Bulletin to those of you in the Maryland area, because that's where it had went down initially. But those of you in the D.C., VA area as well, be on the lookout for that guy. All right, so on that note, let's lighten the mood a little bit, and let's dive into some wrestling headlines here. So, man, Diamond, a lot has happened since last we was on air, man. We last did our thing together on Tuesday, and we were wondering how that London crowd was going to do with Raw this past Monday night, and they stepped up. It wasn't like the Izod Center, but they represented in their own way. Let's kick it off, man. Talk about some key pinpoints here that went down. We saw Heyman. He thought that Triple H wasn't going to be in attendance for this Raw. Called him a coward. Thought he was going to be able to shake his hand and basically suck up to him, tell him how much he admires him and the future Hall of Famer, blah, 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 blah. Where sure enough, Triple H, he was there. Triple H only made one appearance only on Raw. He came out, basically delivered the message to Paul Heyman, yay, go back home, tell your client, Brock Lesnar, that I will meet him in an old-school steel cage match at Extreme Rules in about a month. Delivered that devastating pedigree. And, man, Paul Heyman, I got to give that man props, man. He took the hell out of that pedigree. He sold that move big time. Now it's officially said. I mean, this was a no-brainer. We knew that Triple H was definitely going to accept this, despite the fact that they were kind of putting out there, Triple H's left arm, it's in a sling. He's not really at 100%. He may not do this match. Whatever. Either way, we got this match now, Brock Lesnar, Triple H, third time, steel cage match. I got to ask you, now that it's kind of settled in a little bit, we've been sitting on this steel cage idea for about 2 weeks now. Let's revisit it. Does it have potential to blow out what these guys did the first 2 times?
I'm going to say yes. Like you said, we've had time to mellow over it, think about it, and I think that this is going to be the best match that they've had thus far. The steel cage, I think there's the potential to make that happen. Brock has to go over here. It has to be convincing, and Triple H has to go away for a while.
Yeah, we've gotten a little bit of too much Triple H, I admit, and I'm hoping that the booking does get it right, that they are smart, and they give the win to Brock Lesnar because he needs it right now, and he needs it more than ever, especially since it's kind of looking as though The Rock may be done with the WWE. Now, that's a spoiler alert for you guys right now. I'm going to be playing a exclusive clip of The Rock. He recently did an interview right before he had surgery done, and we'll dive into all that in a little bit, but there's an interview clip I want to play for you guys. It was like probably one of the first interviews that he did after the injury, and he talked about whether or not he is done with the WWE. You guys are going to be in for a treat if you haven't heard this. Surprisingly, it really hasn't been making headlines like that. It's kind of almost one of those slip under the radar type of things. But you guys will like the clips, about 3+ minutes. But, the booking has to get it right for this match with Brock Lesnar until they can try to figure out what's the next major angle that they want to put him in. And quite honestly, I said it a long time ago. I'll say it again. I would love to see a Brock Lesnar work with Sheamus. I think that alone, just on card, I think that would just be one of the most physical, one of the most brutal matches that we can see Brock Lesnar in to date. I'm ready to see him take on some of these younger guys on the roster, and I want to see some new rivalries be made out of his time in the WWE. And Sheamus, that's just the first guy I want him to work with. Another guy I would like to see Brock Lesnar work with. This is just for a nostalgia standpoint. Just to say that we did see it, because I don't even recall it happening the first go-around that Lesnar was in the WWE. But I would love to see him do something with Kane. Diamond, I don't know if you can recall if he did anything with Kane. With Kane, Kane's a little old, but I just want to see two big guys.
I definitely don't want to see that.
You don't think that would be a good match?
That match would be horrible. Kane. See, the thing about Kane especially at this point in his career, he's going to need somebody to bump around for him. Brock ain't bumping around. Brock can't bump around. And, I thought Brock and Daniel Bryan would be a lot better, even though it would have to be a squash.
Lord, yeah.
I mean, Brock needs to be able to dominate, and, that match would be like... I remember a cage match, maybe it was a Hell in a Cell, that Brock had with The Undertaker. I
remember that, yeah.
Yeah, Kane at that time could have had, a good match, and Undertaker can't have that kind of match with Brock Lesnar now, obviously. And I think that Kane is just a little bit less banged up than Undertaker, but I think Kane's banged up, though.
So basically, if Kane was maybe 10 years younger, you could entertain it a little more.
Even 5 years, But I mean, this, and I know you said you want to get to it later, but I don't think that we've seen the end of The Rock.
Nah.
I think that this is how he's selling it. and I think it makes sense. But I think we're still going to get to see that that feud that they had planned. I think we're going to still see that down the line.
I would hope so, because until they can get up to that point, they got to give Lesnar something to do. So you either hook him up with Sheamus. Let's go ahead and scratch off Kane, because now that you brought up those valid points, yeah, Kane isn't. He is kind of up there in age. I don't think if you gave him 3-6 months off, it would really do him any good. It's a case where age is just kind of catching up to him now. Sheamus, that's definitely a lock. Ryback, I definitely would love to see something with those two guys. But I'm just looking at the current big guys that they got right now. Mark Henry, that would be another one that I think would be damn interesting. If Brodus Clay ever decides he wants to go the serious route, clean up his gimmick, I'm still tripping over the fact that he was the one that came up with the Hall of Pain gimmick. I'm curious to see what would happen if he lost the Funketeers and lost Sweet Tea and went the serious route. I'm curious if he could hang with a Brock Lesnar. I don't want him to go over Lesnar. I'm just curious if he could hang with a Brock Lesnar. But, they need to shake it up with Lesnar, no doubt, because the win for Triple H, it's like, okay, now what? And then you think about the recent interview that Triple H gave just last week as he was talking about the unveiling of the new training facility. That they're going to be building. The interviewer had asked him, well, what's next for the wrestler Triple H? And Triple H pretty much said, well, that part of my career is winding down. I'm really just loving getting involved on the creative side of business, and just to see him in the interview as he's talking, his eyes just had this sparkle that just genuinely, you could tell that he really loves being on the business side of things, and he's probably saying to himself, man, I wish I could have done this maybe a little sooner, because it's so much fun to get a good understanding about the business and all. There's really nothing you could do with a Triple H victory over that. So we'll see what happens. I'm trying to be optimistic here, and I'll tell you this, based on what I saw from Raw this past Monday night, and this is the next thing I want to jump into, the Shield. My God, I put the tweet out there last night, and there were so many people that had retweeted it, and our good friends, Damien and crew, they ended up retweeting it. That's how good the tweet was. Anytime they retweet it, it's good. It's official. And the tweet I put out there as we're watching that 6-man tag match between Daniel Bryan, Kane, Undertaker taking on the Shield. The fact that the Shield went over Team Undertaker, that's just what I'm going to dub them. Originally, I said to myself, okay, this is the first Raw Diamond that we got Undertaker in-ring action. 3 years. Okay, it's in London. Could they possibly go this route and have Team Undertaker pick up the victory? But then I'm saying to myself, man, the Shield is still undefeated. That shouldn't change right now. You give them more, damn, these guys are the fucking shit, if you have them go over the Brothers of Destruction and Daniel Bryan Danielson. And sure enough, that's exactly what they did. That was probably one of the second best 6-man tag matches I have seen from WWE this year. And there was another one that had involved the Shield. So if you keep in track, these boys been delivering, it seems like, every time they've been put in 6-man tag matches. I couldn't help, Diamond, and I definitely want to get your take on this. Just to see the way that match had went down, I just had a newfound respect for WWE. The respect has always been there in the way they've been handling the Shield, but my respect for the WWE booking, it just went up even more, because I'm saying to myself, they had all the right reason to give Team Undertaker the win, but they chose to not go that route. They chose to continue to go with the Shield, get them over. It seems like they've been really taking their time and treating them with better respect than the way that they did the Nexus, the Core, even in the straight edge society combined. Would you agree with that, or would you disagree?
Well, I agree with mostly everything that you said. I think that they didn't have any choice but to put the Shield over. I think this is part of a bigger angle, and I think that to fully get the Shield over, I think that they're probably going to have them take out the Undertaker, quote unquote. You know, and I think that in order for them to go forward with whatever they have planned, they needed the Shield to have a victory, especially there. So yeah, I mean, I think that we have to further commend the regime of Stephanie and Triple H because they more than likely, and of course Vince, but more than likely are some of the driving forces, because when Vince was the sole driving force or the dominant voice, those other groups that you mentioned were in play, and we all, you know, remember how those things went. So I think that, you know, you win some, you lose some, and maybe with the Sin Cara and some of the other angles, characters that Triple H has overseen, this one is really working, and they're committed to it working.
Yeah, no doubt. Now I only have one thing to say to WWE booking, creative. Let's see the Shield get some gold already. I want to see those tag belts. You know, it's time. Let's see those tag belts come off of Kane and Daniel Bryan. And I think that with the course that they're going, Extreme Rules, I think we're going to see the Shield get their first taste of gold.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think it's time.
Yeah. There's no way you can have the Shield, Kane and Daniel Bryan hook up, and those guys give them their first loss. Now, I'm not buying that. It's not right. They will lose eventually, but no, it's not going to be against Kane and Daniel Bryan. It's just not. And I definitely think you're on to something with the Shield attacking Undertaker, and that could be that pivotal point that kind of takes Kane over the edge and wants to try to make a tag match at that, against the Shield. And then the Shield, realizing that they got Kane and Daniel Bryan right where they want them, they say, okay, well, yeah, we'll fight you, but only if you put the tag belts on the line. Let's sweeten the kitty up a little bit. You know, we beat you guys before. You know, you don't really have anything you could really offer us except for the tag belts, so what's up? Why don't you go ahead and put it up for grabs? So I definitely think you're onto something with that. We saw a knockout. Oh, damn, I said knockouts match. I got my shows mixed up tonight. We saw a Divas match go down. It was a battle royal. If you blinked, you would have missed it. Looks like AJ Lee is the new number one contender. She's going to be taking on Caitlyn at a future date for that title. Are we a little bit surprised that WWE hasn't done this move sooner, or is the timing right since now you got Dolph Ziggler as the World Heavyweight Champion, and okay, I guess if you're going to have AJ get the belt, that makes sense as they got that little stable thing going on, and now who knows, maybe Big E Langston might be shortly afterwards next United States champion or Intercontinental champion. Was the timing right to make AJ Lee a number one contender?
Definitely. I definitely think that it was the right time, or it is the right time to do that. You know, you can make this I guess we would call it a faction, more unbearable, quote unquote, if you put gold around their waist and really make them, you know, just completely stuck on themselves. And I think that's the way to go. Definitely need to take the belt off of Caitlyn.
That says a lot about Caitlyn, and I don't want to spend too much time on the Divas division because there's a lot of other stuff that I want to get into. But if you've been listening, and you guys know, I've always been very consistent about the Divas division. I've never tried to just take a full-blown crap on it. I've tried to look at it from all perspectives, but this division, it is still in a rebuilding process. They have lost so many great pieces of talent. Beth Phoenix, even Kelly started to get pretty damn good there towards the end, right before she rolled out. Who else did we see recently leave? Eve Torres. We could go a little bit farther than that, and Michelle McCool, yeah, my all-time favorite, right there. Nobody did better than her. Maurice. We've just been seeing the hit.
Wow, they've really been decimated. I forgot about Maurice.
Yeah. They've just been hit left and right. I mean, they just got back the Bella Twins, and doesn't look like it's quite their time just yet, as it looks like that for now they want to go with AJ Lee. And you know what? I'm all fine for that because AJ Lee has something that Caitlyn does not have. AJ Lee has that connection. Exactly. Thank you. That's it in a nutshell. Talent. She has that connection with the crowd. I can honestly tell you how just mesmerizing I was, and a lot of the fans were in D.C. when they had came through here, and we had saw the match a couple of weeks back. My mind's fuzzy now, but I remember AJ Lee was at ringside, and she was watching all the, everything that was going on, and all of us, at least in our section, there was like a ton of us. We were like, "Where's AJ? What's she doing?" It was mostly like a lot of guys in our section. It was like, "Where's AJ? What's she doing?" And those of us that had cameras, we were kind of like zooming in, and some of us were actually like, "Did you get AJ? Let me see." How about this one? So and there's a lot of us that were very mesmerized by AJ. That's a damn good thing. Okay, she is she's mesmerizing. She captures the attention of grown men. Young boys, girls, she just knows how to press everybody's buttons. She just has that nice look, and she gets the crowd going. I mean, hey, I did Crazy Chicks, the whole slut. I mean, she's got all that going on.
Oh, my God.
you go to, I can't believe I just threw that combination out there, but hey, it's the truth. You go to Caitlyn, and I've been saying this for God knows how long. She comes out, you hear her little bubble gum genie music, whatever the hell she's playing, and she's looking at the crowd, and she's kind of like, "I'm your champion, yay!" And all you hear is freaking crickets. Her ovation is just as bad as Alberto Del Rio, and it's, I mean, really. Diamond, I can't BS you, man. I don't even look at this girl and say, "Oh, well, at least she's kind of cute." I don't even go that route. I just go, what a waste of space. She needs to go back to NXT or wherever, FCW. She needs to go back down there, and she needs to stay there, and she needs to work on her character. I don't even think if they were to try to make her go heel, that would help her. She just needs a Crash 101 course in cutting promos. Maybe that could get her out over more, because the spears, that's just not doing it. So I am just hoping that AJ can get the job done. My only thing, let this Divas title match be a YouTube pre-show. I don't want to see it on the actual card. That's all I have to say about that. I refuse to see it on the actual card. I will actually skip it if they put it on the actual card. I would rather see it for a YouTube pre-show.
That's tough, man. That's tough. The thing about the Divas division is at any point in time that they want to jumpstart this thing, they can bring Karma out and jumpstart this thing and have her just run through girls for a while.
Yeah, they could could go that route with Karma. I mean, we're kind of hearing those rumblings there, and all I gotta say is I've been sworn to secrecy. That's all I gotta say. that's all I gotta say about that. I know something major. That's all I gotta say. Diamond, we'll talk after the show. That's how we'll do that. R-Truth, it looks like he ditched Little Jimmy finally. He's going back to that stale-ass what's up rapping. I've been a fan of Ron the Truth Killings for a long time. I always thought his greatest work came about when he was in TNA. He had a really good run there against John Cena leading into that Capital Punishment pay-per-view back in 2011. Just seems like he really hasn't been the same since then. It really does, but it's just the thing. It's only been 2 years ago that we saw that phenomenal run that he had,
right.
And he just got squashed by Super Cena, and then all of a sudden he just started getting paired up with folks. First it was Kofi, and it was Miz, then it was back to Kofi, and he was soloed, and it was back to Kofi. Now he's solo again, and this is a two-part question. I want you to tackle this, Diamond. One, your thoughts on R-Truth, and I know you've been critical about him in the past, but I want you to talk about it a little bit more as far as him. Looks like he's possibly ditched Little Jimmy. He's going back to the stale rap gimmick. Is there any ways they can kind of maybe spice it up this time around, or has it run its course? And then the second part is, what do you think is going on with Antonio Cesaro, who took a defeat at the hands of R-Truth?
I think that they are in the process of giving Cesaro another type of character, and I think he's going through a transformation. As for R-Truth, I think that he has reached his glass ceiling. I don't think he can get any higher than he's gotten, and I think he's just going to alternate between Little Jimmy and and the what's up stuff back and forth until his career is over.
It's
not
very
any higher than he is right now.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate they're not going to allow him to go back to being a heel. I mean, it was almost as if somebody sat up and said, "Shit, he's not supposed to be that damn popular. What's going on here?" And
you talking about when he was smoking a cigarette?
Yeah, I was loving it. And he was just smashing the hell. Yeah, and he was smashing the hell out of people's heads with those bottles of water. I was loving that. I'm like, bring me back that R-Truth. That was freaking awesome.
Yeah, and the only thing about that is that you don't, and looking at this from WWE's standpoint, you don't have anything to sell. What can they sell with that? That's the only thing. As cool as it was, there's nothing to sell. You can sell little Jimmy shirts, and I happen to see on WWE.com today that they have these new Fandango shirts. Mm-hmm. They want stuff that they can sell. And with that,
I respect that.
Thing, there's nothing we can really sell with that.
I respect that, but you know what? They not thinking hard enough. Okay, they need to give me a call. I'm always working on logos and stuff. They need to give me a call. This is how you hook up R-Truth, right? All right, let me set this up perfectly, because I haven't done a freestyle storyline in a good minute. Let me set this up properly. Kofi Kingston is the new United States champion, right?
Right.
Okay, all right. I'm just making sure. Okay, here's what you do. All right. A couple of weeks down the road, you can have some type of a backstage segment go down where Kofi Kingston, he's being interviewed by Matt Striker, and he's getting his thoughts on what's it like being the United States champion for the third time now that it's kind of set in a little bit. How's he been enjoying the run so far? And, Kofi Kingston can talk about it, whatever. Then we see R-Truth. He comes up, "What's up?" And and he could say to him, look, man, I just wanted to say congrats, man. I haven't really had a chance to catch up with you and everything, and I see you became champion. Man, I would so dig it if you could give me the honor of fighting you for that title. And Kofi Kingston, he could say, yeah, sure, I would love that, let's do it. So they have a match. Kofi kind of gets inside R-Truth's head a little bit, because, he's of course, the way that they're kind of portraying R-Truth, he's not really one of high intellect, okay? So Kofi Kingston gets the best of R-Truth, has him be a little bit frustrated as Kofi picks up the victory. Post-match, Kofi Kingston, he's trying to be a good sport, thinking about the past affiliation he's had with Truth, tag teams and all. Extends his hand, gets the handshake. R-Truth's a little resistant, but he shakes it, all right? Then maybe you go to main event, SmackDown, or take it up to next week's Raw. R-Truth could be seen in another backstage segment. Bumps into Kofi Kingston. Hey, look, man, I think I almost had you last week, man. It was a good match, but I'm sure I had you. And Kofi could say, yeah, you came a little close, but I got it in the end. You know that. And Truth can be like, well, look, why don't you give me another shot? It's like, you want another shot at the title, dog? It's like, yeah, I know I can do this. Well, all right, let's do it. So they do it again. Once more, Kofi gets the upper hand. We see R-Truth get even more frustrated. Swaps away the hand at the end, just like the last go-around, oh, here, shake my hand, come on, be a good sport. No. Truth doesn't do it this time. Basically, the way I'm setting it up, the third time that these guys are going to lock it up, Kingston is going to beat him again, and R-Truth is just going to go livid. That's how you get back to the heel R-Truth. Now, marketing standpoint, right? We're talking about T-shirts, what sells, all that stuff. Here's one thing that, to my knowledge, I have not seen WWE do at R-Truth yet. This will sell. The truth hurts. Because that's what the hell I was thinking every single time I saw him hit somebody upside the head with a damn bottle of water. I said, damn, the truth must hurt. Okay? You keep selling that. That's all you have him say. Remember how he was coming out to the silent, he had a silent intro going on there? Something just said, the truth shall set me free. And then he just came on out. There was no music playing. Kind of go back to something like that, all right? You get the fans, they're hating him and all that, and that's just his hook. The truth hurts. It sells. You'll get merchandise. He might not push as big as Fandango or Jericho or them, but you have something that you can get behind.
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad, and that could work. The only thing about that is they would have to believe in him and want him to succeed, and I don't know if they want that. I don't know what.
He might
I don't
be
know
too
what,
black.
Where,
too black for them.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean,
he's got the potential in the world.
Prove that he can get over as a heel.
Yeah. Speaking of Fandango, you was just talking about it. The crowd, they was just loving themselves Fandango when he first came out there. He was doing a little dancing and all that. I love how Chris Jericho had jumped him from behind, though, and the original Dancing with the Stars. Yeah, showing them how it's done there. I like how they changed the girl again, though. It's like, damn, what happened to?
They're changing her every week, I guess.
I guess they're done with a regular girl there. That kind of sucks because I was liking the cute little brunette they had going on there. Looks like these two guys, their destiny, they're going to be locking it up at Extreme Rules, as we're now getting word that right after Chris Jericho is done with his current tour with Fozzy, he's supposed to be going back to WWE full-time. Diamond, you excited at the notion of a Chris Jericho coming back full-time for the WWE?
Yeah, definitely. I think that they need him, and I think that's a good move. It'll freshen things up a bit, and Jericho definitely somebody that can expand his persona and definitely get the fans involved and energized and engaged and all that.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm glad he's going to be sticking around a little bit longer. And for those of you that's wondering, well, could he maybe get another crack at becoming a WWE champion or a World Heavyweight champion? Honestly, I think Jericho just needs to just continue doing what he's doing. He's in those Shawn Michaels years right now. It's just all about putting over those younger talents. And I must admit, I've been enjoying his rivalry with Fandango. One thing, though, that I noticed, you pointed it out, but I didn't really pay attention until this past Monday night. Fandango can't dance for shit. That brother looks like
I've definitely heard people say that.
That brother looked like he just
but that I think that helps the gimmick, though. If he could really dance good, then that would just be like, he's a snob. But the fact that he's a snob and he can't really dance makes it even better.
Oh my God, that is just amazing, man. His dancing. I mean, he's got no rhythm. He's got no soul. And he's got no rhythm. It's terrible, man. It's terrible. Watching him dance, I don't know. I can't help but think of Blake Griffin in those Kia commercials. Kia, take me back to 2002, and it's like, who are you? I'm you in the future. You need to work on your dancing.
To me, it's like it's like a modern version of the Honky Tonk Man. You know what I mean? The Honky Tonk Man couldn't really sing. He was an impersonator, and that's what and the whole, and he looks ridiculous. But the whole thing is he doesn't get it and he believes it. Mm-hmm. And that's why I thought that the Honky Tonk Man gimmick worked, and that's one of the reasons why I think that this works.
Let me ask you something, because there was something that I saw on Raw. I was happy that he picked up the win, okay? But I couldn't help but say to myself, okay, where's this really going? Is he going down the same path as Ryback, or are they just throwing people his way? They just aren't sure what to do with him just yet. The squash match that we saw, Big E Langston defeating Zack Ryder, it was like, my God, 60 seconds tops. What's the big payoff for Big E Langston? I mean, I know we talked about him eventually turning on Dolph Ziggler. Do you think that that's what's going to happen in his immediate future, or do you think he could kind of branch off into a major rivalry while still being part of Team Ziggler?
Well, I mean, I think they're setting it up very, very slowly. If you remember the beginning of the segment with the title belt and AJ in the back with Ziggler, how they were kissing, and then they went to the wide shot, and Big E was just standing there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like an awkward moment. I think
was awkward.
They're slowly building towards something. I'm thinking that maybe some kind of way AJ ends up with Big E, whether he has a crush on her or whether, he attacks Ziggler because, he loses the title or something like that. I'm thinking that that's where we're headed further down the line.
Well, all I gotta say
Ryder, Zack's in the doghouse.
Yeah, that's how I was looking for him. I was gonna say, once you go black, you never go back. I mean, AJ, she, my God, man, just the notion of a Big E Langston and AJ Lee. I mean that. He crushed the hell out that little thing, man. God, that's a nice image right there. Now that I think about it, that's kind of like, oh, Vicky. He's a man. Trojan man. Seriously, man. Yeah, Zack Ryder, I see, he continues to be in the doghouse, and notice his web series on YouTube has returned. Long Island, IZ, whatever the hell he's calling it. I've never really watched it. I think it's quite silly. If you want to laugh.
The true Long Island stories. Like
some silly little thing. I don't think it's funny worth a damn. You want funny, go check out Coco Cabana. He's got freaking hilarious stuff on YouTube. You won't be disappointed. That man is freaking funny, but that Zack Ryder stuff, woo woo woo. He's a good wrestler, and that gimmick, it works for the little kids. I get that. You definitely sell some good merchandise off of it, but that whole thing, it just does nothing for me. It seems like what should have been his moment turned into a Cena moment with that whole Eve Torres Kane thing going on. I was really expecting big things to happen for him right around that point, but it just seems like all the focus went to John Cena, and his moment came and went. I don't think Zack Ryder.
He was supposed to turn heel on Cena, and that never happened.
Oh, that actually was the working idea?
No, I mean, that's what they were building towards. That's what the payoff should have been.
Yeah.
That's what they were building towards. I mean, he kissed his girlfriend, for goodness sake. I mean, that's what should have happened. It didn't.
Yeah.
I'm also not happy with what they're doing with Cena and Ryback either.
Yeah, go into that. Set it up for the folks in case they missed it.
Well, I mean, last week, Cena got the explanation, if you will, from Ryback as to why he turned heel on him. And, the problem is that, okay, the stuff that Ryback was saying made sense. You haven't had my back. I was there for you. You weren't there for me. You know what I mean? Super Cena. We called Super Cena several times. All of that, that's fine, okay? So when the Shield comes out, Cena, beats him away with the chair and all of that, and they beat him down. But I just don't think that they should have beat down Ryback. I think that, I was hoping that Ryback was going to aid them some kind of way, but the same thing, I guess, should have happened to him. I don't know. I don't like the way they're doing it. It's just, they should have built up the friendship, quote unquote, between Ryback and Cena more and give us that Paul Orndorff, Hulk Hogan type of feel, whereas though we really see that these guys are friends, and then it seems so unbelievable that he's turning on him. I remember being a kid and seeing Mr. Wonderful turning on Hulk Hogan, and I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like, how could he do that to his friend? And, little kids now I don't think are getting that feeling with Ryback.
Mm-hmm.
Macho Man turning on Hogan. That was like, I can't believe it, even though you saw the build-up.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's just, I don't know. They're doing good with some things, and they're dropping the ball on others.
I agree with that. I can definitely understand your frustration, too, because, I'm kicking back and I'm seeing the exchange that they had last night, and you had Mick Foley in there who, as always, he does a phenomenal job of cutting a promo, and he was doing a damn good job with his exchange with Ryback. And, just for those that had that little bit of doubt, including myself, that Ryback was still a face, he just didn't like the way Cena was doing him, well, that just completely went out of the window as he called Mick Foley fat, pathetic, loser, just likes to make his rounds to come out every year and talk about his time as a champion and try to push whatever DVD he's got out, as he does have one out right now. And
he told him to shut up.
He told him to shut up, multiple times. Told him to shut up, called the WWE Universe stupid. So you got all those things. It's official. Ryback is now a heel. And I couldn't help but kind of kick back and say to myself, okay, WWE, is this really the route that you want to go? Because for me, it just seems like they're going the heel route just a little bit too fast, and I would have been more happy with two friends that just, there's just a misunderstanding. But what better way for them to try to get back on the right page than with a little bit of help from the Shield? And, I agree with you 100%. I think, that should have all played out different last night. After Cena sees that the Shield are getting in there, he should have came in there and he should have, taken them out, and then he could have just had that stare down with Ryback and say, I'm still your friend, whether you want to believe me or not, I'm sorry I didn't have your back before, but, let's make it right here, right now. And then Cena could have grabbed the microphone and said, Shield, I'm tired of you guys always interfering in my business, Ryback's business, the two of us. Take the three of you guys on in a handicap match next week, and then that could have been it right then and there. And then,
I think you're spot on. You're spot on. Yeah. I think that the other problem is that's probably what they had planned, but they felt the need to do something spectacular the night after WrestleMania, and they weren't able to get that. With The Rock. They were going to do the Rock and Brock thing. That was unable to happen. So they sped this up. They sped this Ryback, quote-unquote, turning on Cena thing. They had to speed it up in their minds to give fans some type of a shock. And that's probably what happened. But I think they should have just stuck the course. And
because, see, Diamond, now they put themselves, and those of you listening, I want you to make sure you're really paying attention to this. WWE has now put themselves in a very bad position where now they have to try to figure out, okay, do they want to stay the course with a heel Ryback? And if so, do they want to stay with him as a heel for a long period of time? And, right now, I don't think that's the path that they should go because, the man, there's no doubt the man's been pushing merchandise with his Feed Me More, his little theme song, and he's got the kids going and all that good stuff. This could blow up in their face. And notice right here, we heard it.
It wasn't the time to turn him.
No, because notice he got the boring chance. Now, we heard it during his promo last week. That was just a promo. That was just a promo on the Titantron. This week, he was actually in the ring, and he was getting boring chants. They need to be very careful.
Getting them too. Cena's getting them too, and I think it's more so. And it wasn't that. It wasn't that he was boring. I think that it's boring is becoming the new what. Because if you notice, they don't say that as much anymore. And what is just something that they just chanted to be for fun. Whenever there was a pause or a break in a promo, and they were just chanting what. Now, if it goes on for a couple of minutes, they're just saying boring. And I just think that's just the new what. I don't think it's actually a rejection of it.
Well, we know exactly what they mean when they say boring to Alberto Del Rio.
No, when they say to Alberto Del Rio, they really mean that it's boring.
Yeah. They need to figure out what's going to be what's going to be the quick remedy for this. I mean, Ryback Cena, this might be good for one pay-per-view, but what are you going to do the next month? Are you going to have these two go at it again? And if so, you're going to continue to have Ryback be the bad guy? I mean, they got to have some type of resolution right here. But I mean, honestly, I think the way that they're probably going to try to approach this, they're probably going to try to milk Ryback and John Cena for maybe 2-3 pay-per-views. And honestly, I think out of one of those attempts, I think the only way you can go with Ryback is to have him become a WWE champion. Doesn't have to be this first go-round, but I just got this weirdest vibe. They're going to lock up at least 2-3 more times, maybe consecutive. And I think on that second or third attempt, you got to put the title on Ryback, because how you going to have him lose to Cena 2-3 pay-per-views in a row? You're hurting his stock right there. So where does a heel Ryback go after, losing to Cena 3 times? He's lost in the bottom of the card. So they did it with Sheamus. Let's see what Ryback can do. I mean, I'm sold. I'm sold. Let's see what he can do for a couple of months and give him about 2 months. And, and usually this is about around that time that WWE will try to do a little bit of experiment just to see, what's working and what's not working. This is usually the time that they like to do that type of stuff once WrestleMania is said and done with, as, they try to get the push going for SummerSlam. So if there's ever time to try a little experiment and see what he can do, this is the time to do it right now. Let me see what else had happened on Raw. I think that was pretty much it as far as the main points. But overall, Raw was definitely a good episode. Would you agree? Because I mean, the way it came off, it was like fuck the Twitter, fuck the tout, whatever the hell that is. Summer tout sounds like a damn fish when you think about it. Tout. Facebook, bump all that crap. This was just pretty much okay. Wrestling match. Okay, that's over. Coming up next, okay, these guys are going at it. It was just boom, boom, boom wrestling. How did you enjoy it this past Monday?
Yeah. I mean, it was, the London shows are always different. They just have a different feel. I don't know what it is, but I enjoyed this one better than most of the London, overseas shows.
And I'm already hearing, and I'm already hearing word that looks like from SmackDown tapings. Looks like, and I'm not giving you guys the winner now. Spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear it, then just go la 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 for about 5 seconds. But SmackDown spoiler. I was paying attention to some of the tapings that had came about, and looks like Undertaker had took on Dean Ambrose in a one-on-one match that just continues to give you that seal of approval, that WWE. They love them some Shield, and hopefully we will be able to get to see that match, because we're not really sure right now if that's just for a dark match or what, but we're hearing that went down at the SmackDown taping, so... let's cover a little bit of wrestling headlines. We were teasing the folks about it earlier, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson, we definitely want to send him some speedy recovery wishes, as Monday, or actually earlier today, he had got surgery done to repair those torn hernias that he suffered in his match against John Cena 3 weeks ago at WrestleMania, and he put a really badass tweet out there with a pic of him in the hospital bed wearing a Superman Under Armour shirt, saying that the surgery was a success. Doctor repaired 3 hernia tears. Fun pain. Superman is on the mend. Hashtag we fall, we rise. And, man, he looks pretty damn good in that damn Superman shirt. Maybe it should have been him that should have been the new Man of Steel. Wait, he pushing that bad boy. So, you know, a lot of people, they were wondering, Diamond, if this is it for The Rock, what's going on. A lot of people, they thought he had just took his ball and walked out on WWE, making him out to be this big old prima donna. Oh, I injured myself. WWE, that's it. Fuck you. I'm going back home and I'm going to rest up for Hollywood. Sayonara, kiss my ass goodbye. On the contrary, it wasn't even anything like that whatsoever. Now, in one of the first exclusive interviews that he gave after suffering the injury, he had talked to Mr. Rosenberg. And this was a really great interview. It was very short and sweet, but I cropped it for you guys. I just want you to listen to the main parts, which is Dwayne The Rock Johnson talking about if this is it for him, if at WrestleMania 29 was the very last time we'll be seeing him. And I'm going to go ahead and let it play for you guys. Enjoy. We'll come right back, and we'll go a little bit more in depth about this. It's about 3 minutes, 50 seconds long. Here you go, folks.
But it's what everyone's asking, and I feel like the wrestling world hasn't gotten to hear it from you directly.
Okay.
Was this the last one? That's what everyone's saying. They're saying it was the last one. Do you feel like this was the last one?
Possibly, to be honest with you. And, you know, this is an exclusive you're getting. This is exclusive shit
Rocky,
right here.
Believe me, I know, Rocky. I'm thankful that you're giving it to me.
Possibly. You know, the goal 3 years ago was I sat down with Vince McMahon. We strategized about it, talked about 3 WrestleManias, back-to-back, boom, 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 and building to those. And I committed myself to the company, and I was very proud of that moment. It didn't matter if it lost or did the job or not, but it was an honor to do the honors. And in the wrestling world, there is no better way to give back to the business, as you know, because you're such a fan, than doing the honors. Now, whether because there was, I know that there's a lot of fans. Oh, it shouldn't have been John. It should have been somebody else. But that's not for me to decide.
And I think we all know, frankly, whether you love John or not, it should be John. I mean, if you're being really realistic about where the business has been the last few years, isn't he the guy? Hogan did it for you.
Hands down, by the way. Well, when Hogan did it for me, and I was very appreciative of that, but he was on his way out.
True.
Basically at that time and not champion. But in this case, we wanted to build me to a certain place and become champion and then do things the right way. And for the business that I love, that I grew up in, it was an awesome way. It was the best way, by the way, to give back. So was it my last match? Possibly.
You're really not sure.
Really not too sure, and I wouldn't rule it out. But you know, the plans this whole time was to create the Miami, and then create the biggest show of all time in the biggest market of all time in New York.
And it wasn't to include the rubber match in New Orleans? That wasn't necessarily part of it?
No, not at all. Between John and I?
Or most likely.
To be honest with you, since we're so close now, the original plan was possibly Brock and myself. Like, that was the next thing that made sense to me, because I love Brock. We've been friends for over a decade now, and we could have a great athletic match. So that was a plan. But then when I had torn my 2 tendons off my pelvis, then I had to fly home that day. Then we couldn't do what we wanted to do at Raw that day. So possibly with Brock down the road.
Last 2-second question to that.
Got it.
And this is the tough one. People, the rumor out there is that you didn't tell anyone and that you just left. Is that true or is that false?
That's so false.
You talked to Vince that day.
I talked to Vince that night when I was hurt that night. Vince came to my locker room at WrestleMania. How you do? Vince and Triple H, by the way, and John Cena came. CM Punk. I mean, we're all these guys.
You know how the dirt sheets work, dude. You know what the words they get out there.
Well, it's easier and more salacious and more entertaining if like The Rock just left. But no, I would never do that. It's just not how I do business, by the way. So that night, I saw the WWE guys, the orthos. They did the fun test if one has a hernia, which is always fun. And Vince came by the locker room. I said, I'm hurt. Then we agreed that I wasn't going to be at the show the next. So everybody knew. So I wasn't quite too sure where all the scrambling came in. And then I got a phone call in the afternoon from one of our writers at the WWE and said, hey, would you like to give a message, or not only would you like to tweet a message, but is there a statement from the orthopedics that you saw today? I'm like, yeah, I saw Dr. Kaplan down in Miami. He's
and
my
then
guy.
they threw the tweet up on Raw, and
that was it. Yeah, but I went, I had my MRIs done, and believe me, for a guy who has to get surgery, you know, I wouldn't make it up. No, it's silly.
There you have it, the man himself, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And this just goes back to, Diamond, what you and me were talking about a couple of weeks ago. You know, we said we know there's probably going to be a lot of websites that's going to be taking a big old spin on this whole storyline. They're going to try to make it out to be something that it has no business being. A lot of them don't even have the audacity to man up and retract what they had originally put out there and issue an apology. Instead, they sweep it under the rug, and you know they won't dare try to put this clip out there to cover their ass. They'll just kind of pretend that they don't really know about it. And you know, we were actually one of the first guys to tell you on air, don't believe this crap that you're hearing. There's a lot more to this story. We just, you know, need the right time and place for The Rock to set the record straight. And I'm really glad that he did that. And mad props to Rosenberg for that interview that he did with him, asking the obvious questions. And The Rock, Diamond, just not holding back, just putting the truth out there. You know, after hearing that, are you a little bit convinced now? Do you think we might have seen The Rock for the very last time? Or do you think at this point, you know, The Rock is just going to take it easy next couple of months, just work on Hollywood and, you know, just maybe give WWE a holler, you know, once his workload isn't so hectic?
Well, I mean, it's funny because he summed it up, you know, and he said that they agreed to the 3, you know, back to back. He did that. And so pretty much he was done anyway. So it's just like he would have done the angle with Brock to set it up, and then that would have taken place next year. Okay, so, you know, as far as his obligations, that stuff is done. And if he decides to do next year, then, you know, he's got plenty of time to set it up. One thing I didn't like about the way they set it up, I guess it was the year before, the day after WrestleMania when they said they were going to have the match a year from now. I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that they had it mapped out a year. So if The Rock has to comes back at, you know, Royal Rumble or something like that, that's fine. You know, I don't see the need for it. There's no rush. But you know, there's also, you remember CM Punk, of course, got his big opportunity after he was quitting. You know what I mean? So it was you know, saying that that's your last one is a way to guarantee that there's another one.
And I like how he tried to be a little optimistic there, but at the same time, you know, he kind of, you know, he was honest that, you know, the deal was to do 3. You know, if you really think about it, he has, in some shape or form, main event at WrestleMania 3 times. I mean, we had what he just did. Yeah, we had 29. He did 28. And then there was 27 that just started everything off. He's met his obligations, you know. And honestly, what better way to go out than to officially lose the WWE title to John Cena, literally pass the torch to the next generation of wrestlers. I mean, honestly, it doesn't get any bigger than that. Could he come back for one more match and go out with a victory and hang it up for good? Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would still like to see him and Brock Lesnar. If they can make it happen, I would love to see a part 2 to follow up what they did at SummerSlam 2002. But I'm not going to hold my breath, honestly. I told you guys a long time ago. I even said it to those that were bitching about The Rock. I say, you know what, appreciate The Rock for the time that he's back in the WWE, because once his mind is made up that he's done for good and that's it, you guys are going to be crying. Same ones that's, always bitching about him popping up are going to be the same ones that's going to say, when's The Rock coming back? Enjoy it for what it's worth. And quite honestly, Diamond, I don't know how you feel, but if he's done after this, hey, I say thanks for creating new memories.
Yeah, I definitely echo that sentiment. Definitely.
Yeah. And I want to put some people on the spot. I see we got a couple of people that had called in. I definitely want to get you all's opinions on this. If you think The Rock is done, or if you'd personally like to see him come on back for one more hoorah, we can open up the phone lines right now. And number to call, 646-478-3525. Once again, 646-478-3525. Let's open up the phone lines. Let's go to 205. You live on there, my friend.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, bro, how you been?
All right, you?
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good. So, what do you think about this whole Rock stuff? Would you think he's done? Would you like to see him come back?
I think he should. For one more match.
Okay. Are you sold on the idea of him and Brock Lesnar, or would you like to see him take on somebody else?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Either, let me see, Batista or Goldberg.
Batista or Goldberg? You still hanging in there for the Batista and Goldberg, I see. I don't know, man. Batista's more likely. Goldberg, I think as close
Not
as...
so much.
Yeah, it's close. I think the closest we're going to see to a Rock versus Goldberg 2, you're going to have to fire up WWE 13. I'm just being honest with you. Let's go to caller from 516. You're live on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Josh calling from Long Island. How you guys doing?
Hey, pretty good.
I'm just calling. I have 1 point on The Rock and then 1 point I'd like to make about Heath Slater, actually.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to The Rock, I love the contributions that he made, because I grew up as a fan during 2003, actually, so I didn't get to see Rock at his peak. So I'm grateful for everything he did. And I think that I'd love to see him back for one more match, whether it be against The Undertaker at WrestleMania I think that any of those matches that you guys brought up would be fantastic. And then in terms of Heath Slater, I was thinking that it would be pretty damn cool to see that guy get used to his potential, because I think that he could be a megastar in the making. I see him as the next Edge, and I wish that WWE would use him as such.
That is a damn valid point, Josh. I like that one about Heath Slater.
Do you see Heath Slater as a face?
Let's bring him back. Josh, answer that question for him, buddy.
Yeah, I think Heath Slater could play any role, because you look at him and he has a bit of a tendency to come across as really cocky, but I think that if you put him in a sympathetic storyline, he could really play that role well. Like, I think if he was paired up with someone like Chris Jericho in a heel role, like if they were both heels and Jericho sort of took advantage of Slater, and Slater could be like that goofy, fun-loving guy who went to Jericho with ideas, since, he's the one-man rock band and Jericho's actually in the rock band, and he could come to him with, like, song ideas, like kind of like a childhood thing. And then eventually, like, Slater upsets Jericho or someone for an IC title, and then you could build from there. I think that could be pretty cool.
It's a good angle.
That would be a damn good angle, actually. Yeah. Talk about getting Heath Slater over. But, my whole thing is, he does have those little traces of possibly taking the place of Edge. But my whole thing is the way WWE have been utilizing him so far, I'm just kind of left with the impression that they don't look at him like that superstar material. They don't. You look at a guy like Ryback. I said this a couple of weeks ago. I'll say it again, and I don't mean to sound funny, but it's just the truth. You look at a guy like Ryback, you grab your dick, you go, that's a fucking man. That's a beast of a man. He's going to beat the shit out of somebody. That's the type of guy I want to see holding a WWE title. Fuck yeah. Where's the beer, you know? You look at a guy like Heath Slater, and you may kind of say rockability, star, power, but then you just look at the long list of crap that they have been putting this guy through. I would like to believe that as many times as Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal has been repackaged, maybe they could do something with Heath Slater. But even when you compare Heath Slater, you compare his entire run in the WWE to how Edge started off. Even when Edge first started off, he was cool. I mean, he was in the fucking Brood. Gangrel, Christian, came up from fire and brimstone from below the ground. It didn't get no more badass than that. For the most part, he's always been kind of cool. WWE, the way they've been utilizing Edge, they never really utilize Edge in a you know, okay, you're gonna do this silly ass little skit and you're gonna get buried. I don't know about you, Diamond. I really can't think of Edge being the laughing end of a bad joke. We lost Diamond. His signal had dropped. He'll call back in a little bit. But that's just my 2 cents on that. Thanks for that call, Josh. Good thoughts right there. I don't know. They have potential to maybe elevate Heath Slater, but I just, if I were a betting man, I don't see WWE doing that. Same argument could be said about Drew McIntyre. I mean, that guy was being dubbed Diamond, the chosen one, and he never really, he still ain't nothing in the WWE.
Drew McIntyre sucks.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean, it's more to it than having the size. Drew McIntyre just didn't, he does not have the it factor. And I'm not saying that you have to have the quote-unquote it factor, you know, in order for everybody to work, but Drew McIntyre just, he did not do it at all, and I was, you know, really, really glad when they understood that he really was not the chosen one. I see what the caller was talking about with Heath Slater. I think that he definitely has potential. If you look at somebody like Shawn Michaels, I mean, he didn't, you know, scream at you, you know, man's man, and look at the physique, you know, but and Shawn Michaels wasn't attributed to some of the highest receipts either, but at the same time, he was very, very good at great at what he did. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, unless Heath Slater grabs the bull by the horns, and he tells WWE, look, I want to change. I want to prove myself. You know, I want to take my career to that next level. You know, unless he shows that he's hungry for more, that's the only way I see WWE working with him. Because right now, when I look at Heath Slater, right now I just see him being complacent. It's winning him brownie points, but I see him being complacent right now. Complacent in the sense of, okay, we need you to go do this, go job to this person. Okay, we're going to have these legends beat the crap out of you every week. Okay, yeah, sure, no problem. Okay, we're going to have Brock Lesnar. He's going to F5 you, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 times. It's going to be on the wall barricade. Okay, no problem. You know, that gets you brownie points, that gets you camera time and everything like that. But, you know, unless he really wants to prove himself worthy, you know, he's going to have to do a little bit more than, you know, jobbing the people. And, you know, I think the other thing that's kind of holding him back is his southern accent. You know, it's kind of thick there. You know, I can't recall the last Southern star, except maybe Brock Lesnar, that did phenomenally well in the WWE with a Southern background. I just don't see Slater, going that far. But then again, anything can happen in the WWE. Yeah. Real quickly, what's your takeaway on this stuff that's been going down with Rosa Mendez? I see that she was supposed to be doing something for them overseas, but she had got sent home. Word on the beat is that she has a little bit of an attitude problem, and she had put a tweet out saying for folks to basically, positivity and faith keeps my head up. Let it do the same to you. Big hug. Hashtag Mendez lovers.
Yeah. She definitely seems like she's a prima donna.
I know I'm probably going to catch a lot of heat for what I'm about to say. And first of all, I do not condone beating up women. I think any guy that beats the shit out of a woman, they are the lowest fucking piece of scum on the face of the planet. But you would think that, somebody with her checkered history of getting abused by her boyfriend would kind of make her be a little bit more humble and appreciate the good things in life, And you hear she's been sent home because of her behavior. It's kind of like, really? Really? Speaking of really, that's another guy that we have not seen for a couple of weeks now. He dropped that damn title, and we ain't seen him since.
Good point.
Oh, my God. Yeah, man. John Cena looks like he's going to be missing Raw for about 3 live events next month. Looks like Shawn Michaels and the New Age Outlaws have been added to the shows that he's not going to be on to make up for that. Michaels confirmed on Twitter that he's just going to be accompanying the Outlaws to the ring at the events. So for those of you that want to try to see if you can catch him in action, you'll be able to do so Friday night, May 24th at the Maverick Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. Saturday, May 25th at the MX Centrum in Red Deer. And Sunday, May 26th, again, same, actually different venue. It's going to be NMAX Center in Latebridge. So those would be the events that you could check them out at. Shawn Michaels, New Age Outlaws, that should be good. Looks like John Cena's trying to take a little bit of time off, take care of some personal business. I want to share with you guys some WWE Raw ratings as we get ready to close out tonight's episode. We haven't talked about WWE Raw ratings in a good minute, but for those of you that are curious, Monday night, did phenomenally well. I'll tell you about it right now. Raw had pulled in, keep in mind, it was the return of The Undertaker, did a 3.14 from a near year low 3.8 rating that came in last week. Now, that's pretty damn good news right there. First hour breakdown, they pulled in 4.19 million viewers, almost identical to what they did last week. 4.65 million in the second hour, up 400 viewers from last week, and 4.36 million for the third hour. And if you're keeping track at home, you know what I'm getting ready to say. This now marks the 15th consecutive week out of 16 weeks that Raw ratings has declined from the second to third hour. Looks like they are just 2 away, one from tying 16 weeks in 2013 and another week away from setting an all-time new record for what's going on in that second to third hour rating there. And, we haven't talked about Raw ratings in general in a while. I just want to rewind it back for you guys for a little bit, just in case you're curious how your favorite episodes did. Let's kick it up with March 4th. That was the episode where CM Punk had won the right to face Undertaker at WrestleMania. That did a 3.54 cable rating with an average of 5.1 million viewers. May 11th did a 3.36 cable rating with 4.813 million viewers. That was the episode where CM Punk had ruined Undertaker's tribute to Paul Bearer. March 18th did a 3.9 cable rating with 4.26 million viewers. That was the episode where Triple H's career was revealed to be on the line against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And March 25th did a 3.24 cable rating and averaged 4.61 million viewers. That was the episode where Rock and Cena squared off in the epic Q&A panel in front of the WWE Hall of Fame legends. And should be noted that on that particular episode, Rock and Cena, they didn't meet face-to-face the next week leading up into WrestleMania there. So that's how your respective episodes did in March. You know, Diamond, sounds like what was really the big takeaway there was that March 4th episode where CM Punk won the right to face Undertaker. Yeah, 3.54, yeah. You know, Raw was pretty good in the month of March there leading into WrestleMania. I think March 11th and March 18th had really reflected what all was going on, as we didn't see The Rock at that point, as he was scheduled to do the last two Raws. So it kind of made a little bit of sense for the Raw ratings to kind of take a little bit of a dive for those 2 week periods there. And that's going to do it, boys and girls. Man, we did a good show tonight. All right, so let me tell you about Thursday night. We got the return of Impact Showdown Radio. And, yes, it is going to be on this Thursday. I'm going to be there. Diamond K is going to be there. And we're going to cover the fallout from TNA Impact Wrestling as seen at Spike TV. Also hook you guys up with the very latest in wrestling-related news. You know how we do it over there on Impact Showdown. So make sure you check us out this Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. And for a little bit of news that you can use, like us on Facebook at InfinityOneProductions.com. Check it out. Good stuff. You can also befriend us on Twitter. Hit Diamond K up at The Diamond K Show. You can hit us up at Infinity One Prod and over at the RCWR Show. We're on a 30-plus hour break. We'll see you this Thursday night. Everybody, be safe, be kind to one another. He's Diamond K. I'm Lee Sanders. Everybody have a good night.